to do the introduction this week?
I don't know. I've never done an introduction.
No.
Let's put me right on the hop.
You don't have to.
No.
Just ask you to put your hand in fire or something. No. Okay. So, hello and welcome to the Forever the Optimist podcast with me, Lindsey, and
me, Emma.
And this week we are all about addiction. But before we get into that, and to put it off for a little bit longer, what have you been doing this week?
Not a lot.
Fair enough.
I pulled me back on Sunday, shaving my legs. Of all things.
I did not know that's how you done it.
That's how I done it. I was in the shower and I was shaving my legs. I got done one leg and then my back seized up. So I had to back myself into the shower to get the heat on it to try and stand myself up. So I've had one very lady leg and one manly leg.
One summer, one winter.
Yeah. That's what I've been like all week. So yeah.
You're only half a yeti now.
I'm only half a yeti now.
Oh,
so yeah, so
nice.
it's been a very sexy thing for my husband this week.
Oh, God love Dan.
So yeah, that's about it. I had to stay off work. I haven't really I went out in the car once yesterday. But that's about it. I could hardly drive, so I'm back on the couch.
Which is why we changed location this week.
Yes,
we're in yours.
We're in a change of location.
Yeah. No dogs are at this week, just a cat, wherever she's gone.
Just outside.
So
how about you? What's your week been like this week?
Quite busy, to be honest. I finished or refreshed my life coaching qualification.
Aye, well done on that.
I actually didn't realise I'd done that in 2019.
Wow.
So when I refreshed it the other day, it was really good. I looked at it, and because I'm in a different headspace, it was looking at it from different angles as well.
Yeah.
Signed up, finally bit the bullet and signed up to that bulletproof mindset thing with Ollie Ollerton.
Mm-hmm.
So that should push my business even further forward now. So this time next year we might be doing this in my farmhouse. In fact, you know what? This time next year we will be doing this from my farmhouse.
Yep.
We may be sat on crates because I've only just moved in, but we will be doing it from my farmhouse.
That's okay. I'll supply Dr. Pepper, pizza, and we'll eat. At least we'll eat. That's on pallets.
Yeah. So I can think of not better right now.
No, that's actually really nice.
But yeah, what else have we done this week? That's it, really. So yeah, that's it. Anything nice planned for the weekend, or just the couch with your back?
Just the couch. Ethan's got his mate coming over. Dan's going out, so it's just probably going to be just me and Arlaji. But he's moved into our bedroom because he worries so much. Like separation anxiety's been through the roof. He had to stay off school on Monday because when I've done it on the Sunday night, he was sobbing. When he saw I couldn't move Monday, my legs went and everything, so I was bedbound for 2 days. So on the Monday he stayed off school because he just sat next to me just crying.
Oh God,
most of the day.
He's so sensitive.
He's so emotional. And
so tough when I come around. He's always trying to fight me and get me to fight with him or whatever, arguing with me. Yeah. But he is just a sensitive little soul.
Yeah, he is. He's beautiful. So he's been looking after me. Because Dan's on earlies as well. So Elijah's been he's there all the time if I need anything.
Yeah.
And he's constantly, Mum, don't be bending. I'll get you a drink. Right. Do you want me to put your socks on? Repositioning my hot water bottle behind my back.
God,
okay.
I love him. He's just a sweetheart. He is a
so
sweetie.
He's looking forward to next week where he said, you'll be better next week so you can take me to school. That's all he's worried about. Because my mum is she's like a drill sergeant of a morning.
I'd say I'd come and take them, but I don't want to step on your mum's toes. Because as much as I love your mum, she does scare me a little bit.
Yeah.
Lovely woman. Buys me presents. She's out of me at times.
She scares the shit out of a lot of people, actually.
Honestly, if your mum told me off or told me not to do something, I probably wouldn't do it. She's about the only person in the world I'd listen to.
She's been brilliant, my mum, to be fair. She's been absolutely marvellous. She always is when you're not well. She just comes in and just takes over.
It's where you want to, the Sergeant Major type thing, isn't it?
she just comes in. She's like, right, you need to take this. And when I was stuck in bed, and I was like, it was absolutely doing me head in, because I can't. As much as sometimes I like to be able to like lie in bed and watch telly, that's my choice.
Yeah,
when
when
it's not your choice, and you're like, I actually today want to get up, and it wasn't like my head weren't in it. It was just my body weren't willing, and I was just like, I've got 155 things to do. I just got back into work. I had to phone in work sick again, and I was just like, I am so sorry. But to be fair, it was an injury that I'd done in work.
Yeah.
So, that sort of hadn't sorted itself out, and then I redone it, shaved my legs. So, message: just leave your legs, girls. Go European.
Winter. It's winter. Get that
winter.
coat on.
Yeah, it's
If
winter.
I'm single, I can go as hairy as I want.
The only thing I would ever do was shave my armpits.
Oh yeah.
I can't have hairy armpits.
Yeah, no. Especially
my
because
legs
I go
could leave.
training and stuff. It's like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. Move on. Move on. That's it. You belly.
So yeah, marvellous.
Nice.
Marvellous. So are you doing anything over the weekend, or?
Not a lot. Oh, I might be going on a family hike on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to be Sunday to Ingleton, but it's down to me, Wendy and Adam.
You said that?
Yeah. Partly one of them's got a golf tournament. Andrew's just not got back to any of us. Other than that sounds interesting 2 weeks ago. Gary's going on holiday 2 days later, so apparently can't come hiking with us.
All right.
Don't know how that makes sense, but in Gary's world, obviously it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, but checking the weather the other day, we could get a bit wet.
Yeah, isn't it something like Hurricane Kate?
Well, you can just not be in Yorkshire for the day if he doesn't mind.
That's where all that rain come from the other day.
Well, they thought he shouldn't have any left.
Yeah.
No, we'll see. If we don't go this weekend, it's going to be in November, but I'm pretty sure Ingleton shuts at some point.
Yeah.
Because our Wendy starts uni, so she's busy for a month. Going to lose my little hiking buddy for a month.
But we're coming into the winter.
Yeah.
Do mini hikes.
They mentioned going Saturday, but Liverpool play at 12:30 on Saturday, so I said no. If it was 3:00 or a 5:30 kickoff, we could have maybe fitted it in.
Yeah.
But it's a 12:30 kickoff, and I can't.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know what we're both doing.
Putting it off.
But it's time to start talking about addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I think it was last week, me and Emma have never actually been addicted to anything.
Yeah, nothing. I wouldn't say like a substance.
Yeah, I went through a
addiction.
phase of getting tattoos constantly, or I've been addicted to constantly being in the gym.
Just that other side of the addiction, isn't it?
But yeah, I suppose in a way we all get addicted to something. I mean, at the minute you're addicted to Married in First Sight.
I love that.
Or At First Sight, or whatever the shite it is.
Maths UK. Love it.
I think I'm the only person not watching it, you know?
Yeah. I'm
happy with that.
Do you know what? There's only a little bit of crap telly that I actually like. You know, like I love documentaries. I love watching films and things on true stories and all that sort of stuff. But I do like a little bit of crap, and I don't watch things like EastEnders or that anymore.
Don't watch any soaps now.
Yeah, I don't do soaps anymore. I come off them, God, about 2 years ago, maybe more.
Come off them.
Yeah.
Was that your addiction?
That was me, yeah, because I used to, that was like a thing. But
you Sky Plus them and everything, didn't you? Or record them?
I used to record them and then watch them all, like in my own little omnibus. But now I watch that and I watch Towie. There's just them two that are really.
Why are we friends?
I don't know. I just like these crap.
Saying that I can't say no, and I watch Jersey Shore.
See, you watch Jersey Shore, I watch Towie.
And then what was the other one? I used to love. I didn't ever really been Jersey Shore. I did watch Geordie Shore when that first started, but no, didn't stick with that one. But Jersey Shore, I still go and watch it. I feel like I've kind of grew up with them now. When it comes, and I suppose with reality telly as well. Anything with that and Deccan I'll watch.
Yes.
So I'll sit and watch I'm a Celebrity.
Yeah, see, now I love I'm a Celebrity, but I think because that's only on, well, mind you,
That's the lead up to Christmas. That.
Yeah, that's
about 2 weeks before Christmas it finishes, isn't it?
And I love Britain's Got Talent.
Don't watch that. That's the only one with the men I don't watch.
But they got rid of David Williams.
Yeah, didn't he say something on someone took offence to it?
Yeah, because they're all snowflakes. And I absolutely love David Williams. I think he's absolutely hysterical. And it wasn't the same. There wasn't that same like humour and.
You're the one I love. That's not nice.
Oh my god, I haven't watched that for years.
I used to watch it with my mum. Went with my mum to see it, didn't I? In the Echo.
Oh god, yeah.
Chico was on it. Chico time. But yeah, I went to see that, so I absolutely love it. I absolutely love That's Not Nice. So get there. But I'm not addicted to them like you are.
No, I do have to watch them. I'll video them so I don't miss them.
Could be worse. Could be Love Island.
Oh my god.
No thanks.
No thanks.
I've never.
See, this is why we're friends.
Because we would rather scratch my eyeballs out with a rusty knife than watch Love Island.
See, I liked one years ago and it was called Shipwrecked.
Oh yeah.
And they had to like survive on
an
island.
I remember this. It was on Channel 4.
That was just and like people found love and got off with other people and all that crap. But it was like the main.
You've got to save the population.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I need to do. I can't. I told you I got ghosted, didn't I?
Yes.
Got ghosted. Damn, devastated. You all look devastated.
No, not really.
How about now? Yes, I got ghosted, but oh well. Because I wouldn't give him any more PT answers.
That's what it was. He wanted free advice.
It got to the point where it was like every day it was sort of asking me something about personal training. And all I said was, mate, I get paid for this type of information, through a voice note. Jokingly, not really jokingly, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard of him since.
Yeah. Some people are just so touchy.
Is it ghosted if you're not bothered? Wouldn't it only be ghosted if I was bothered? Maybe it's the trash taking itself out.
I love that
saying. I know you do.
I love that saying, the trash taking itself out.
Anyway, we managed to do it again. Addiction.
So addiction on my side of things is not substance addiction. It's like objects, like things. Like sometimes I can get addicted to like an app on my phone, like a game on my phone, and I'll be playing it constantly. And my phone will permanently be in my hand, especially when I'm off over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, put it down.
All right, so what happens when I text you and you don't get back to me then? Not because Elijah's got your phone, no.
It is on a Saturday.
No, you've just admitted to you being on your phone.
Yeah. He does have it. Elijah has it on a Saturday from about 12:30 till Sunday at 12:30. But I'll be able to take it off him from time to time when it's charging. But then I'll run on and get on my game. And half the time, now I've noticed, little bugger, he reads me texts. Because what I used to do was I used to go into my WhatsApps and then it'd show, how many you haven't read.
Yeah,
it's like not on your top, but you can see that you haven't read it.
Got like a
no, he reads them.
I know, it's why I censor what I send to you first. The amount of times I've gone to censor and I thought, who's got a phone? So I'll be like, are you there? Or how are you? What are you up to? And then I'll send you the meme once you reply. So once he starts replying, I'm sorry.
But yeah.
We'll have to have like a special code word so I know it's you. Like your 10-year-old son.
Emma, mango. Oh, mango.
Have to keep changing it because he's not soft either. We'll have to have a different one each week.
Yeah.
Yeah, addiction. I don't know, but I've obviously in the past got addicted to the gym, but that was when my mum passed away. So I don't know whether that was a distraction as well as an addiction, which I suppose is how it starts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Numbing the pain. But I'm not that bad with the gym now. I have to sometimes force myself to go 4 times a week now.
I think you do find though a lot of people do get addicted to the gym, and it could be.
It is an addiction. It becomes, you've got to watch body dysmorphia. A lot of bodybuilders have it. They don't think they'll think they're tiny, and then hence that's why the steroids and everything start coming into it. But a lot of people do, and it's also the feeling of the what are they called? I believe it's got them hormones. That feel good hormones. Getting released when you the dopamine and endorphins and that when you're because I call them endorphins because they swim through your blood and make you happy. The endorphins.
Endorphins.
I always remember them, but I couldn't connect it to the other one then in my head. You get addicted to that as well.
Ah.
And the gym is a place where you can go and switch off from the outside world. I have in the past been addicted to, like I said, how many tattoos did I get in a short space of time?
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm addicted to anything going on. I think addiction's being used as a bit of like a dirty word.
Yeah, I think
you're an addict. People go, look at you a bit funny.
Yeah, but you can be addicted to shopping. I knew someone who was addicted to shopping. It was Tony's ex-wife, and she used to go and she used to spend all kinds of money, and literally they'd just stay hanging in a cupboard, a bit like a kleptomaniac, but she'd actually pay for the stuff.
That once I've had a drink. No, I do. I tried collecting beer mats and everything. It was awful. I'm home with glasses and everything from the pub. And he's like, Dan literally goes, you at it again. Look at this tray I got to carry shots on. Where's that from? The pub by yours. I don't even do shots now. Well, we do. But no, it's not even about buying the clothes. It's the feeling of buying them rather than actually having them. But I do think people, when you go, they're an addict, tend to be like,
yeah. I think they tend to think drugs straight away.
Drink.
Yeah.
Most people, when you say addict, do automatically go drugs, and then look down the nose at people.
Yeah.
But I think no, that person's not doing that because they want to. I mean, I know with Steve was obviously alcohol. He didn't start off wanting to be an alcoholic.
No.
I don't know what it is. Apparently, when I've looked into it, there is a gene, an addictive gene in the family. And if you look at my family, that makes perfect sense. And that's not me being horrible either. There's a lot of people that are addicted to something within my family.
Yeah.
And this actually, and the scientists are trying to do research into it now to see if they can do something to
like change the genetics.
But at the same time, it is who you're with, who your friends are, what you do for a living.
Yeah, your surroundings play a massive
your
part.
Environment.
Yeah. Some people become a product of their environment, and that could be an addict, it could be a drug dealer, it could be a robber, it could be a very nice person.
Well, Austin, the sweetest man you'll ever met.
Oh yeah.
Sweetest. Even when he'd had a drink and was absolutely rotten, he was never violent, he was never nasty, he was never...
No, he was hilarious.
He just wanted... Paul had just wanted to be loved.
Yeah.
And he started working in pubs, but he was always an anxious person anyway. And I think, I mean, this is just my opinion, he started working in pubs, realised, if I have a drink or two, I'm a bit more confident, because he was never the most confident. And I think that has been the start. Then he's met his ex-partner, or I call him his ex now, because his ex-partner, who was also an addict.
Yeah.
Or his was not just drink, it was drugs as well. And I think the two of them just enabled each other to the point where it was only ever going to end one way for one of them.
Yeah, it was like quite a toxic...
Yeah, it was a very toxic, very violent, very...
volatile atmosphere that was in relationship, actually.
Yeah. It wasn't good. But we tried everything to get him away. You know yourself, I got him away so many times, but he kept going back. It was
I think that's the hardest part of addicts as well.
Yeah.
You can help them and do so much for them.
Yeah.
That it has to actually come from them.
It changed Austin in so many ways. He was never a liar. And this is the bit that used to get me. We were raised, you know this, we were raised never tell a lie. Yeah. Always tell the truth. Even if you get in trouble for telling the truth, it's better than telling a lie and getting in trouble further down the line.
Yeah.
My mum would rather we went in and went, yeah, mum, I did break the car window. Then, no, mum, I didn't. And then she found out further down the line.
Yeah.
I know I said car window then, but you know, it's an example. But
broke many car windows, Linz.
No. I actually haven't. I remember him living in mine, and I remember going to him, have you been drinking? And you could clearly see that he'd snuck it somehow. I don't know how. He could not get any drink in my house. But he found a way to get up the shop, considering he'd just come out of hospital and could barely walk.
Yeah.
And he lied to my face, and I remember the anger that came from that.
Yeah.
And I remember how much shit he put me through.
Mm.
And I feel like as much as I loved Austin, even at the end, I adored him. I lost my big brother 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
If not a bit longer. I lost him to the drink then.
Mm.
And it was just horrible because watching him kill himself, and we all knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
But trying to get him help, I got him into 2 rehabs, he wouldn't go.
Mm.
I watched him drinking that much that he'd come to mine and go, look at me ribs. He'd fell down the stairs and broke his rib, but it was pointing outwards. And I was like, did you go to the hospital and get it looked at? He's like, no. And I was like, Steve, that could have punctured anything. I think he's lucky that it's pointed outwards and not inwards.
Yeah.
He'd come to mine one day after arguing with his partner over. So I took his dog off Stephen, thinking that I've took his dog. Now, if you'd have took my dog, I'd have done everything and anything to get him back.
Mm.
So I took his dog and I went, you can have her back once you get off the aisle and stay off the aisle.
Because he wasn't looking after her, was he? And
thinking he'd think the same as me. And he didn't. He literally went 3 days later, it's probably a good thing you can have Lily, and signed it over to me. Give me all the papers and everything, signed it over to me. And it's only now looking back, I was like, that was the wrong thing to do. I took the one thing that he had to be responsible for away. But then the other part of me was like, I couldn't have left the dog in that environment.
No, God.
The poor
she was
thing.
so skinny.
Yeah, her claws and everything.
Yeah, claws were massive.
Yeah.
And she'd shake whenever anyone raised their voice, even if you just laughing loudly. She used to absolutely shake.
You have to stretch on the couch, and she's up the stairs. She used to hide upstairs when everyone come round. Not now.
No, she doesn't now.
Get in the freaking door without her trying to give you kisses now. But I couldn't leave the dog in that environment. But at the same time, looking back, maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. And I never once stopped him seeing her. He was always allowed to come and see her in ours, but I don't know. Looking back, was that the right thing to do? Yeah, for the dog, and yet now looking at it,
yeah.
You
were in sort of like a catch-22 position.
Yeah. Look, I have sat and questioned myself so much over everything I did at the time.
I know.
And at the times I felt guilty and I felt ashamed and I felt like, should I have done more? But then sitting there, and it's like, no, because I did what I could with what I knew at the time. I did the absolute best I could. And maybe it wasn't right, maybe it was. I should have done something different. But considering no one was helping me.
I don't think you could have done anything different, because I think you've done everything. You went down every avenue. You researched loads. You'd even reached out to people who have been in that position and who've come out the other side.
Yeah.
And asked for help.
Yeah.
And got to get a better idea on what you're dealing with. You weren't like just, oh, well, that didn't work. You went down every single avenue. But I think that's one of the biggest things with addiction is you're addicted. You know, like, it's very, very hard to stop. And if the thing that you're doing is taking away pain, it's taking away it just takes you out of the environment you're in.
Yeah.
It's very hard to see beyond that, and you just go, well, I don't want to help, I'll just drink that.
Yeah.
That's easier.
Yeah. And I also, there was times I had him, he'd been in the hospitals, he'd been on the Librium, he was home, he was in mine, he was safe, he was secure, and then certain family members would come round and be like, well, when I come off the drink, I needed this, and I needed that, and I needed this. Now, you're saying this to an addict who the only thought still is, I want that drink. So they're coming around saying, well, I needed this. He doesn't need that because he's off the drink. We just need to sort out why he was drinking now, which we're waiting for the counselling to come through, which again was we were talking about last week, how long you wait for help.
Yeah.
And then in his head, he's like, well, what's the point of me not drinking then? If they needed that, well, I must need that. Well, I can't have that, so I'm just going to drink.
Yeah.
Or I found out he was in mine for about 2.5 weeks this time. He was off the drink. He was putting weight on. He was doing good. We had him in a rehab. It was a Christian one, which he wasn't looking forward to because he did have to go to church every day for half an hour. But I said to him, just look at it, chill out time after you've done, because they have been working, doing different things.
Yeah.
As a chill out time after you finished whatever, and just sit there quietly for half an hour.
Yeah.
You haven't got to pray, you haven't got to, because we're not religious. Just it's free. You're in. They're going to help you. One of my stupid aunties goes, "You won't be able to smoke there, though, Steve."
Oh.
Again, he's gone. Well, I can't do both. I can't give up both at the same time. What am I going to do? It's going to be too hard. Self-sabotage, then gone back to drinking. There was another time I got him off the ale, and then he went back to his partner. And I've since found out, since Stephen's passed out, what he'd done, his partner. This is how controlling and nasty, and I'm going to say evil, because he is evil. Apparently Stephen was sat there and he was determined to stay off the drink. And his partner's put a bottle of vodka, a bottle of whatever else, and Coke on the table. Because that's what his partner does, Coke and weed and stuff. And said to Stephen, "All right, well, if you've recovered that much, that won't bother you then."
Oh my God.
He relapsed. Obviously
he's going to relapse. Yeah.
You know, not right away, but all night that's in front of him.
Yeah.
You know, you set yourself with anything, the night time's always the worst when you're dealing with anything. So then he's back on it then. And then I just think he never wanted to come off it after that.
Yeah. The support wasn't there in the relationship sector. He would have done better if he would have walked away from him.
Yeah.
But then he was quite controlling in that way.
He was very controlling.
And Justy didn't really have the confidence.
No, he never has. That's what I was saying before.
To walk away. And in a way, he felt trapped.
Yeah. Especially because of the controlling relationship. Like, we've both been in these relationships where they try and isolate you.
Yeah.
And so many people were saying to me, "Just cut him off, just cut him off. Just leave him to it." And I couldn't. Because maybe that would have got him off the drink. Maybe he would have thought, "I've lost all my family, I've hit rock bottom."
But then it might have gone the other way and it might have made him worse.
Might have made him worse, but it was also leaving him in the hands of this person that was basically knocking fuck out of him all the time.
Yeah.
And we knew he was, and we couldn't do nothing about it. And I've heard, apparently, one of my so-called cousins on the funeral said, "Well, we were both as bad as each other."
Yeah.
Look at the two of them. They may have been in the beginning, and I'm not saying it's right. Violence in a relationship is never right, regardless of you're same sex or not. Stephen couldn't have defended himself.
No. Good God, no.
Not at the end. Maybe at the beginning, but not at the end. And also, Stephen was never violent. I used to fight his battles in school, and I'm 3 years younger than him.
Yeah. He wasn't, he didn't have a violent bone in his body. He didn't.
No. And if he was ever fighting, and I'm not saying, obviously you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, it was probably self-defense.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't, then he was out of order for doing that. But it's just, it was heartbreaking to watch him kill himself and that's basically what I watched him do for 5 years. And yet, still, knowing it was coming, because how many times I say to you, I'm going to get that phone call one day.
Yeah.
Knowing it was coming and still being shocked when it did.
Yeah.
And also, the big thing for me was relief, how relieved I was when it happened. Which did make me feel guilty.
Well, yeah.
Because I remember saying to people, I felt relief. And they were like, "Well, you know he's not in pain." I was like, "Not for him."
Yeah.
For me. Because I haven't got to deal with that anymore. And for a few months after, I did feel really bad. But I've looked at it since and I was like, well, actually, that's understandable. My life was controlled by your drinking.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. It's like, with the addicts, it's not just them that they ruin, it's the people around them as well.
Yeah.
Especially if they've got, like, a very caring family. I mean, I know there's a lot of addicts out there who are homeless, or, you know, they don't have the family because the family have just give up on them and thought, "Do you know what?
You know what, though? I can see why the family would.
I can see, I do get it. I totally get it.
I never used to, but I could see why, and I would never judge someone for it.
No. It's a hard situation to do, but sometimes you have to be selfish.
Yeah.
When you're in that situation and just think, "Do you know what? You're not helping yourself.
No.
You're pulling me with you. And I don't want to go down that way."
I did find that. I mean, you even said to me at times, like, you need to cut him off for your own good, Lindsey.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I did, but again, I couldn't because of that. And also, being me, and obviously we haven't got my mum and dad, and I'd promised my mum when she was passing away that I would look after the boys. And I felt like I was letting her down if I turned my back on him.
But I don't think your mum would have blamed you.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I actually remember, this. I seen that psychic, and they were like, your dad said it's time to leave Stephen to his own devices, basically. He may be better off with your mum and dad. You need to put you first.
Mm-hmm.
And about 3 or 4 times in the reading, she mentioned that. Remember, I played it for you?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like a, ooh, wake up call, but then I couldn't turn my back on him completely.
No, because, you've got that empathy. But I think you put too much on yourself when it comes to your brothers because you're not your mum.
No.
And I say that to you a lot.
You do. Thing is, though, with Dan, my younger brother, I don't have to be that way with him. He's pretty much self-sufficient. He looks after himself. He does, though. He's lived away from home since he was 21, 22. He moved to London and then up to Edinburgh. I do worry about him. Obviously, he's my baby brother. I don't care that he's 33. I worry about him. I worry about Josh, but they're not my responsibility. Stephen always felt like he was. He always needed that extra bit more.
I feel like that over our Paul.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd feel like that over our Tony.
Also, though, with Paul, he needs you more. And I think that's what it is. He needs you more than Tony does. If Tony was probably in a position where he needed you, that might flip. I do think it's a girl thing. It is a sister thing. You look after them regardless of your age or. But I do feel freer now. I know that sounds so bad.
No, you put up. It's like, as I say, he was in this dark hole for a very long time. You've been in there with him. You mightn't have been drinking yourself to oblivion every day and things like that, but you've still been there, as you say, looking after him, worrying about him. Even if he's not under your roof or he's not there, you're still constantly in your head. You're thinking, oh, what's going on there today and what's happening now?
I used to like it when he was in hospital.
Yeah, I remember you saying
because I didn't have to worry about him. How awful is that to say that? I didn't have to worry. He was safe. Because I didn't realise my therapist said this to me after everything happened. She went, you've been living with your nervous system on high alert probably since just before your dad passed away. And I was like, that's like 5 years in December. And she was like, yeah. Because I used to lie in bed and then I'd hear the car outside or you'd see the blue lights or whatever and it'd be the police dropping Stephen at mine because he'd fought with his partner or he was bladdered somewhere and that, and it was on his records that he lived at mine when he didn't. So even afterwards, about 2 weeks after the funeral, I was lying there. A police car just went down the street and I was like, oh, I went to get up. And I was like, no. But my brain was that trained that police car, Stephen's coming to yours, you need to go sort it. I actually knew one of the police fellas quite well by the amount of time Stephen got dropped off at mine and that I had to get, when I put the complaint in over his partner threatening to come to mine and beat me up and set my house on fire and whatever else he did. The same police officer used to come every time and I'd be like, hey mate. I knew that he had coffee with 2 sugars. Obviously addiction is bad for the person in it. I've never been in it, but I know the people living with it, and you know this yourself. It's worse for them. But I felt as his sibling, and again, I don't know if you felt this, you kind of get forgotten about.
Yeah.
People forgot that we were going through it too.
Yeah. Well, I was only 14 with our Paul. I probably, looking back now, I'd probably call it an addiction. Wouldn't say a massive addiction. He was taking drugs and smoking weed from being about 15. He did start to drink little bits and bobs as you do when you're that age. But then when he had the trip from the drugs and he went in to hospital with the schizophrenia, I was 14 and it was like I was left. And I think it didn't help as well because my dad worked away a lot.
Yeah.
So when all that was happening with our Paul, all of a sudden on my dad's home. But he wasn't seeing us. It was all around our Paul, which I understand that now, being older. At the time of being 14, I didn't. I just thought, oh, why is he getting all that attention? Although, like, I was spoken to, I did do a thing in school about drugs.
Yeah, but that's about the drugs. That's not about how you feel about them.
Yeah.
And how you feel about the situation, which we didn't get when you get it now.
Yeah, you get it now, but you didn't
never
get
got
it
that.
then. I think our Paul, because it took, I think it took 10 years to properly diagnose him and get his medication sorted. But in that time, he was in for like a month, 2 months at a time. He used to come home on the weekends when they were phasing him back to be home. Then when he did come home and they were like, oh, well, you know, his meds should be okay the way they are. Then he used to go to the little pub, the Walnut down the way, which is not there no more.
It was a boss little pub there.
And he used to sit in the Wally with my dad's cousin, who was an alcoholic. And he was like an enabler. But our Paul could turn nasty when he was drinking. Not to the point that he'd hit anybody. He was never a fighter. But he'd just like start arguing and, you know, things like that. It just turned him into a not nice person. But now now that he's got his medication, he does say, like, yeah, I was addicted to alcohol because alcohol kept where the medication was letting him down, and he was still getting all these thoughts in his head, and he can see that he was destroying my mum. Like, he could see what it was doing to us as a family. He was using the alcohol to quieten that.
Yeah, so like on top of being ill anyway and addicted, he was then feeling the guilt and the shame of being addicted.
Yeah, so he was using it as an escape. He'd done that for a very long time. I mean, like, even now, our Paul still does have that addictive nature. But he drinks. He has designated nights. So we'll have a drink on a Tuesday night, I think, or a Thursday night. But if he's got a doctor's appointment or a blood appointment, he won't drink that night. Yeah. And it won't bother him. But it is still kind of an addiction because he still needs to have a drink on a Saturday. That's like his thing. But then it's also part of a routine for him. Yeah. Every Saturday he goes out for a drink with my dad and his mates. If my dad and his mates don't go, then our Paul will sit in the house and he'll drink. He has to have that drink on a Saturday, and he'll have to drink at least one time in the week. So it's like a controlled addiction. Yeah. But it's still an addiction. Yeah. And that all came to a head because he was drinking a lot. And he'd come home, it was on a Saturday night after being out with my dad. But he'd been drinking 5 days a week now, as well as the Saturday. So there's 6 days. He's having one day where he's not drinking, which with his tablets is not, like, he shouldn't be drinking at all. And he was walking up the path, and my mum and dad used to have a little garden wall, and he fell because he was swaying everywhere, fell over the garden wall, and he broke his collarbone and fractured the top of his shoulder. Oh. So he was laid up in bed for a very long time. And in that time, he dried out. He was dried out for 6 weeks. And he was and he does say, do you know what? I don't actually really need a drink. He just likes to have it on them times. So
Has he ever said the words, I'm an addict?
No.
See, this is one thing that, when they are drinking or doing whatever, people think they're stupid.
Yeah.
They're not. Because RSD, again with the lying and stuff, which really used to get to me more than any interview. I hate liars anyway, so when he's lying to me, he used to go, remember him going to me one time, I'm an addict. And in my head, you're always taught, if the minute they say that, that means they know they are and they want help. He knew if he said that to people, they'd be like, yeah, we'll get you help, and he'd leave him alone so he could go and drink again. Yeah. So he knew how to manipulate situations, so he was left alone to drink. Yeah. But yeah, the addiction, that's the only way I'd say it really changed him. Like, he didn't get nasty, he just lied. Yeah. But I always knew, because he used to go, 100% I'm telling you the truth. 100%. I'd be like, you're lying. No, you're lying. But yeah, I mean, him being as bad as he was with the drink shocked me because my mum used to drink when we were growing up, and she was an alcoholic, but she was functioning. Like, we never suffered, so it was more, she'd have a couple during the day, and then it'd be the night time she drank more.
Yeah.
But my dad covered for it so much to protect us.
Yeah.
But watching Steve, he wasn't functioning at the end. He was, and it did feel so lonely dealing with it at times. Because I knew I could talk to you about it and stuff, but
I know, but it's having someone there
deal with it with me.
with you, yeah. Like, you know, like you're a team dealing with it.
Do you think him having the addiction shaped who I am?
Yeah.
And I say all the time, I think he knew what he was doing towards the end. He knew if he kept drinking, what the outcome was going to be.
Well, he said to me in the hospital, didn't he? He was just like, I just don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And I said to you, you can see the light has gone.
It was the Tuesday, wasn't it, when we went up? As we were walking out, I said to you, he's not coming out. And you're like, no, they haven't said that. And I was like, no, you can see in his eyes.
And I said, he does look like he's give up, to be honest.
Because I mentioned rehab and that to him, didn't I? Because I had him into rehab and the week after. And he was like, there was just nothing. He was just, I'm done.
Yeah.
I remember going home and I told our Dan, and he was like, no, don't be. And I was like, mate, he's not coming out. And he didn't. I should have put a bet on. No, but dealing with the addiction and then getting all these people giving you advice. I don't know if you had that, all these people, or your mum might have more than you. Do this, do that, do this, do that. How about rather than advice, you give me help?
Yeah.
Don't tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing, because I've already done it. I've already tried it.
Yeah.
Don't judge me because you're not living my life right now.
Yeah.
I should be having him in my house. I have him in my house, and then he leaves pans on the hob and passes out upstairs.
Yeah.
That was the other thing he's on.
Yeah, he nearly set the house on fire.
Yeah. Or I literally went to the shop, which is 5 minutes from my house, and come back and he fell through the coffee table.
Oh God, Jerry, remember that?
And broke the coffee. I have 2 dogs in that house. He could have landed on one of them. He could have really hurt himself. I wasn't sleeping. God, I'm dead selfish here. Stephen's addiction's all about me. But, at the time, I wasn't sleeping because every time he went to the toilet in the night, I was thinking he's going to fall down the stairs. And I had the runner down the middle, and there was wood either side of that exposed. I had a unit at the bottom of the stairs he could have banged his head on.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I wasn't sleeping. I was still trying to run a business, but I was losing clients because I had to keep phoning in sick to take him to the doctors or whatever he needed, or to pick him off the floor. Or I obviously weren't sleeping, so that was affecting my training and everything. I was scared to go to work because I didn't want to leave him in the house. I was scared to come into work because I was convinced he was going to be at the bottom of the stairs dead. Every morning I was convinced I was going to wake up and he wouldn't. He would be dead in the bed.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I can't deal with this, to the point where I made myself sick. My phone used to go, and Josh will tell you that, start shaking. And because Stephen's name would come up, and I'd be like, is it Stephen? If it's his partner going to have a go at me? If it is Stephen, are they arguing? Does he just want to talk? What's happened? Is it someone ringing me to tell me something's happened to Stephen?
Yeah.
Like if I phone you, you'll go, oh, Lindsay's on the phone. What? Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe you go, oh, for fuck's sake. But you know what I mean? You see.
I tend to look and I go, oh,
yeah. And you answer it. I'd be like, I don't want to answer it. And I'd let it go to voicemail. And even then I'd sit and look at it and be like,
I'm not dealing with that just yet.
Yeah. And there's times where the next day I'd phone him and he'd be like, oh, I was just ringing for a chat, and then I'd feel guilty.
Yeah.
Or, as I was saying, with being the sibling of someone with an addiction, it is like you've forgotten about.
Yeah. I think yeah, you're sort of put to the side because the focus is on there. For me, because I was so young, I didn't understand it. Whereas now, I do get it. I can help a bit more.
Yeah, you do get it, and I did with Steve. But at the same time, I've had aunties stand there and go, my nephew this, he's my nephew. Me and Daniel, but not even that. Me and Daniel are your niece and nephew.
Yeah. Yeah, we were quite lucky on that front, because our family isn't toxic.
Yeah.
My mum's family are like, they're really, really good, but they don't live here.
Yeah.
We had my Auntie Jerry, she lived up the road, and she took over as like my nan.
Yeah.
So she was brilliant. And I think if we had what you've had to endure, yeah, I could see where there would be some. Well, I know my mum, she'd probably bloody punch them, but I can see why it was so hard.
Yeah, when everything you do is judged.
Yeah, and
but no one's willing to help you.
Yeah, where everything you do was not good enough.
Yeah.
Well, why aren't you doing this? Well, why don't you help me?
Yeah.
You know,
Every one of them.
If you're criticising me that much, fucking help me.
Every one of them doesn't work, or at least one member, like the husband or wife, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Every one of them has a spare room.
Yeah.
I was on my own, still dealing with the fact that I'd lost my dad, which floored me. Which I didn't realise how much it hit me at first. That hit me months later.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So still dealing with that, and then having to deal with my brother, who shouldn't have been my responsibility.
Yeah.
But these are all going, oh, Paul, do this. You need to do that. Making him out to be such a bad person. He really is not a bad person. You know?
But that's the point. Like, he wasn't a bad person, but the addiction made him a bad person.
Yeah.
It was nothing
to do with him.
Very
selfish person.
Yeah, it's the addiction has made him that way. It wasn't him. Because we know him from obviously growing up. Like, I knew him from being 11.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like that. He was dead caring. He was dead loving. He was hilarious. Absolute piss taker. Yeah.
I did get some facts. Let me read some facts to you. Did you know that addiction, in simple terms, is not having control over doing, taking, or using something to the point where it could be harmful to you?
Yeah. As we say, like the addiction, like the shopping addiction.
Yeah.
Being addicted to your phone. You know, things like that can harm you.
Yeah.
Because you're getting to death for like spending money.
Yeah.
Like spending money addiction.
Yeah.
Amazon's doing the Prime Day soon, and that's going to kill me.
Oh, I'm addicted to at the minute buying books.
Yeah.
I've got 4 more ready to go. I've finished 2 of the 4 I bought last time.
Oh my God. Me and my mum had this conversation the other day, actually, and we were like, because my mum doesn't drink, she'll have the odd one at Christmas or on a birthday. She might have, like, she's found Prosecco with candy flossers, like, really nice. But she's found that, so she'll have one of them. But other than that, she doesn't drink. I go nasty if I drink spirits.
I was going to say, if I have vodka, that used to be my trigger drink. And I know the times I've drank vodka, and that's when I've got into trouble arguing with doormen and stuff.
Mm.
And I literally, at the time, can think I can fight that doorman. And I'm 5'5.5". I can fight this 6'2" gorilla that stood in front of me.
He's mine.
Take him down.
Your ass is grass, man.
I remember I was arguing with this doorman, and he's just looking at me like angry little gremlins in front of him. I don't even know why I was arguing. We'd actually been in and came out. But vodka was always my trigger.
Yeah, vodka's mine. Like, just like them type of spirits, like vodka, Bacardi. You know, like, I go like an absolute loon off them. So I know that, so I stay away from them. But I'm alright with Malibu. I could drink Malibu and Desperado all night.
I was going to say, man's Desperado, innit?
Yeah.
I love me Desperado and Coke. Because it tastes funny enough like Dr. Pepper.
Like Dr. Pepper. But I could easily go out on a night out and not drink.
Yeah.
And my mum was always like, she used to have a girl night out every single week. I think they used to go to the Maggie Mays pub on a Thursday. I know. It's a bloody nursery and a sandwich shop, I think now.
Oh, God knows.
And they used to go there. They used to all meet up. I think it was a Thursday. Because I used to sit crying on the stairs. I always wanted to go with her. My dad would be like, you can't go. She's going out on her own. She's getting some space. But my mum was always the one that drove. And all of her mates would get absolutely blotto. And she'd drive.
How old are you?
And they'd all end up, my mum would drive them all home.
Yeah.
And my mum was like, see, I don't need drink. But we were talking about when she met, like, when she's met people as she's got older. And when she met my dad's family, they all thought she was weird because she didn't drink. And that's quite a stigma.
Yeah, it is even now, though, because I got absolutely annihilated at Rosty's funeral, which was the plan all along.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't the whole way through, and obviously the years leading up to it, and everything, I was just like, I'm getting so drunk.
I think because there was a lot of mitigating circumstances there as well, with having
To be around people that were toxic.
Yeah, to have him there with his family smiling and laughing and, oh, isn't this great?
Who waves out of a funeral?
Oh, yeah, who waves out of a funeral car?
Well,
But
it treated it like it was fucking day out.
and
Like,
then you had your family as well on the other side, who had caused a lot of grief
yeah,
over the past X amount of years.
yeah. Then I had my dad's family,
Yeah,
who now knew all about the grief it
yeah.
caused me.
And it was like a
And
ticking time bomb in the
that if one of them
corner.
would have said something, it would have.
Yeah,
And then all my cousins on both sides just talking to each other because they all get on.
yeah. And it was just like, then it was just us in the middle. So it was a lot of
Power keg
stuff
going on that day.
And I think you'd been dealing with this, as you say, like your nervous system's been on this high alert, and then all of a sudden, as you say, the relief and everything, and you've just gone boom.
Yeah.
And you've just imploded. And it was going to happen.
I told everyone it was going to happen.
And there was some people that were shocked. And I said, so you don't actually know what's gone on then? If you're shocked at that, you don't know the whole picture.
Yeah. I think most people knew I was on the edge that day.
Yeah.
But since that day, I've not drank. Yeah. I think I've had 2 drinks since then, and I've not missed it. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I did vomit for 12 hours straight afterwards. I knew that was going to happen. I can't have sulfites, and I was doing shots with Arclay.
Yeah.
Probably not the right thing to get bladdered at my brother's funeral when he just died from alcohol. But no, I did need that day, which is never a good thing. That's the only way to cope with something is for me to get drunk.
Which is what we're saying about the addictive nature.
Yeah. But
and that it is there.
It is there, but it's controllable because I now probably won't have a drink till Christmas.
I think it's there in people. It's just whether it gets triggered or not.
Yeah.
I definitely do think it's genetic.
It is.
Because, like, my dad's dad was a terrible alcoholic. He was a very horrible, horrible man. But he was a horrible man when he was sober.
Yeah.
So it accentuated how nasty he was. And we were always angry. It's horrible to say. We were always angry that my nan died before him. Because my nan used to always say, like, and I remember this from me being little, when he dies, we're all going to Hawaii. It was like a thing she used to always say. And she died before he did. And he lived for quite a bit longer. To me, he was always dead nice, even when he was drunk. And he used to, like, because he knew, like, I loved history. And, like, I love history. I love finding, when people have done stuff, I think it's, like, amazing. And he was in the subs, and his journeys that he was in 3 subs that got shot.
I was going to say, does that maybe lead to his drinking now? Because PTSD and stuff?
Yeah, he was a little bit of a drinker anyway when he was younger.
Yeah, but PTSD was so undiagnosed back then.
Yeah, so he was in 3 subs that got shot at. He survived somehow, and we always said it was because he must have been so fermented with alcohol, he just bloated up. But there's some, like, really nice stories where, like, his brother was in the ships. My granddad was in the subs, and they'd gone to Australia, I think it was. And they were in the middle of Australia, gone to where the British had their own embassy there. And my granddad had walked into a pub, and there was his brother that he hadn't seen for 5 years.
And this, for me, obviously, I'm into the universe and signs. We're saying to me before about signs and everything.
Yeah.
That, to me, that's meant to have happened. They are both meant to be there at that exact minute.
So them two were like, I just thought it was brilliant. Yeah, it was just, my dad told me the story, and I was just like, that's just amazing. Yeah. But him and me granddad, like, drank and stuff like that. Granddad went off in his sub, Uncle Pat went off in his ship, and I think Uncle Pat died because he fell off the gangplank drunk. And
I've just been going, no, it's meant to have been.
No, but this was, like, years later.
Oh, you made that sound like that same
not
day.
Right at that time. No, but it was sort of like, they went and they fought in the war, because they were both in the Second World War, and they fought in the Second World War, and at some point, I think that's what happened to him. But it just shows you, like, he was a drinker. Granddad was a drinker. My granddad would drink anything if it had an alcohol content in it.
Oh, they all will at some point. They have a drink of choice normally. Oh, they will drink anything and everything.
Anything and everything. But my dad's got that nature.
Yeah.
Because he'll say, if he's got, like, my dad drinks, like, at one point he was drinking a bottle of wine a night. A night.
Even
And I
though
was
it's only a bottle of wine, but it adds up.
Yeah. And I went to him, I have a bottle, like, I'll buy a bottle of wine tonight. I'll have 2 glasses out of it. And then I might have 1 glass tomorrow. Might have 1 glass on Sunday. Or might keep it till next week. Till I'm having a dinner and I'll have a glass with my dinner. Like, I could easily leave that.
I can't drink wine. I'm so jealous. That's full of sulfates.
Yeah. Like, red wine, certain red wines I'm okay with. Others I'm not. Yeah. So I found one that doesn't, like, affect me. So I'll have that.
I just don't like wine anyway, to be fair.
But I do like sitting here watching something with a glass of wine.
Yeah. I feel like I should drink wine because on all these movies and that you see these grown up, sophisticated people with glasses of wine, and there's me in my house, me Mickey Mouse mug with a cup of tea. Yeah. But I don't like wine, so and I always feel like there's a massive difference between sitting on my own with a glass of wine and sitting on my own with an amaretto and coke. Yeah. And there shouldn't be, but it just feels so much more wrong.
But I think, because I'll sit there with a Malibu and Coke, so I know what you mean. Yeah. And it feels different. But you know when it's the summer?
Yeah. Oh yeah, in the garden.
That's different then. That's different territory.
Yeah.
But I'm not that addicted to like, I haven't had a bottle of wine over the weekend for like 2 weeks.
Just one of the questions I had there was to ask you, what were the initial signs with your paw that there was a problem? So thinking back, I can't think that there was a point where I was like, this is a problem now with Steve. I don't know when. I think it was just a gradual thing that you're like, okay, there's an exact point, or was there with you?
Don't know. I think with our Paul with the drugs was like, I knew, because obviously he used to go to the Azzies Park and they'd be sat there smoking weed and whatever, and I used to say to my mum, he's doing drugs, and my mum wouldn't listen, flat out.
No, it's her baby, wasn't it?
And she was like, no, you're lying, and I was like, I'm not lying, I've just seen him. You're not. Stop being a liar. That's what I used to always get.
It's denial, isn't it?
Yeah. So years later, she said, I feel so guilty that I didn't listen to you. Like, my mum did feel like that.
Yeah.
And I think, as you say, like, you know, the sibling gets forgotten, the sibling never gets listened to, and it's usually the sibling that notices the most. But as you say, parents do go into that denial. Yeah. When our Paul came, my dad was working he was in LA. I think our Paul had only been born, like, I think he was like 2 or 3 days old, and my dad had to fly back out to work. So my mum has our Paul a lot on his own, and it come to the point where when my dad did come home, our Paul used to hide behind my mum's leg.
Yeah.
So he was very much a mummy's boy. I mean, like, massively mummy's boy, because it was just there.
Yeah.
So when these things started going wrong, I think my mum didn't want to admit it, because it would then admit that she might have done something wrong, like that sort of parental guilt.
Yeah, which she shouldn't
at all. But our Paul was, when we've gone through the psychoanalysis and everything like that, everyone has that element of us to get the a schizophrenic gene. Yeah. It's like, it's in the brain, and a major trauma can sometimes trigger it. This is what the neurosurgeons told us. Like, a major trigger could be like, you go through a very traumatic thing, drugs, like something that affects the waves of your brain can bring on that sort of side of mental illness. You might just get it slightly, or you might get it like really bad. But our Paul as well, when we look back, especially because we've got our Ethan is so similar to our Paul.
He looks like him, to be fair.
Unbelievable, right? His mannerisms from him being young, everything. And Ethan's got Asperger's. Now, I have always said this, that I think our Paul had an element of autism. and he used the drugs, and he used, like, later on then he used to drink.
Yeah.
But I think with our Paul, because he was born in the 80s, it wasn't really a thing then.
No.
So I always thought he had that element of the autism, and he used the drugs for his confidence. So you could always tell when he'd had something or when he'd done something, because he'd come in like larger than life.
Well, that's what I was saying about Stephen, with being in the pubs and the confidence through the ale.
So I noticed it then. But when we got the diagnosis and his mental health under the razor, and he started drinking,
Yeah.
that escalated quite slowly.
Yeah.
It was like
There wasn't like a set.
There wasn't
a set day.
No,
thing.
there wasn't a set thing where we looked and went, bloody hell.
Yeah.
You just seen it happen very, 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 very slowly. And I think because he was around our Peter, who was an alcoholic, that didn't help. When we got the thing to change his medication to the meds he's on now, like, Clozaril was amazing, and it was brand new drug, and we had to watch a DVD and stuff like that. When he had to go into the hospital to dry out to get that, and he got away from our Peter and come away from the alcohol, we noticed the difference, and we were like, right, okay, he's got an alcohol problem as well. When he was drying out, and it was the psychiatrist saying, well, do you drink? And he was like, no. And he was just like, I think you might be lying to me there, Paul. And he went, it's the only thing that stops the voices. And it's like, right, okay. So as you said, you've took the problem away, but now you need to understand why the problem's there.
This is the one thing we never ever got with Stephen, was always, we're treating the symptoms, but what the fuck is the cause?
Yeah.
Everyone goes, oh, because when your mum passed away, you didn't recover. This. We don't know any of that, like, because
you're not 100% sure on that.
We can guess.
Yeah.
And it all makes sense in that he did start drinking then, but it didn't actually get bad till, I'd say I'd noticed how bad his drinking was after lockdown. But then everyone's like, oh, lockdown's on it to everyone. No. I mean, I started drinking quite a bit in lockdown, got a grip of it, and was like, no.
Yeah.
I think most people did. Don't get me wrong, it probably did cause a lot of problems, but
the weather was nice as well, and
I had the best tan ever. There was no tan like a lockdown tan. Honestly, 9 o'clock in the morning, bikini in my back garden. I'm just like, with me in the sun anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm addicted to the sun. No. But there's no. I've often sat and think, what point did I think my brother's an alcoholic? It was kind of just a gradual thing, and then we were like, we started using that word quite a lot. And at first, Stephen wouldn't use that word.
Yeah.
But we'd be like, no, you are. No, but you are. But then he realised if he said he was an alcoholic, or had an addiction, he would then get the sympathy of people.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, I remember sitting there and feeling angry, and at times, like I was saying before, they shouldn't be ashamed. I remember being ashamed, saying to people, my brother drank.
Yeah.
My brother's a drinker, my brother's an alcoholic.
But our Paul, then when he got diagnosed and everything, he turned to the drink, because when his mind was like, when he was medicated and he could think properly, all this other stuff come flooding back.
The guilt and the...
Yeah. And then he started drinking.
You've got me thinking there, like, I wonder at what point they realised that they had a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Stephen... It was a long time before... We all realised it was a problem before Stephen did.
Yeah.
But I wonder at what point you've gone, this is a problem. And then the other thing that's just gone through my mind is, I wonder what point he's actually gone, I give up. I don't think it was as close to the end as what we think. I think it was a lot. He's known. Because when he was in mine, about a year and a half before he passed away, 2 years maybe, he was told he had spots on his liver, and if he banged his head, he'd have an aneurysm.
Oh God, yeah, I remember that. Was that 2 years ago?
It was about 2.5 years. 2 years ago, yeah. Yeah, because I've had Lily 3 years.
Yeah.
It'll be 3 years then, because I've had Lily. But he got told then.
Wow.
And he still carried on. So he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I do actually remember saying to you, I'll be surprised if he makes his 40th birthday. And he was 43 when he died, so yeah, it would have been 40. But yeah.
Yeah.
But I wonder what point he's gone, I actually do just give up here. Or did he? Well, no, we do know we give up, so that was...
We did, like, right at the beginning.
I think once he started working in KFC, that wasn't good for him. That was another thing he didn't have to worry about.
Yeah, he took the social interaction away, so he isolates himself.
But I think, and I will swear this on, if I could have got him away from his partner and kept him away from him, not even if I could have, if he could have got away, I do think things would have been different. As much as it was Stephen's choice to give up, I do think if he could have seen a life away from his partner.
Yeah, away from the environment he was in.
Yeah. And that sounds like I'm blaming his partner, and I'm not, because it was Stephen's choices.
Yeah.
But he never gave us the chance to give Stephen another choice. But he didn't actually want Stephen, because apparently he was carrying on behind Stephen's back anyway.
Yeah, it was the what if.
Yeah. I mean, we shoulda, woulda, couldas, isn't it? But yeah, the not feeling the guilt anymore is only actually been the last couple of weeks. In that I've done this. I think I told you about it. Done this thing called the Wall through my life coaching.
Yeah.
One of them things like I got given to do, and I'm gonna get all my clients to do it. And just releasing that, not my fault. And I've literally sat and gone back over a lot of things. My mum, I don't feel guilty of my mum anymore. Don't feel guilty about my dad anymore.
No, because that was his choice.
Yeah. I know in all them circumstances, I did the best I could with what I knew at the time.
Yeah.
And I've kind of forgiven myself for not being able to do better. But then I couldn't have done better because I did the best I could.
Yeah.
And it's only been the last, I'd say, 3 weeks that I've worked on that. And when you start doing it, I'll have to send it over so you can try and do it. I'm not gonna lie, I was lying on my bedroom floor with my Sharpies, I'm like, yeah, get a normal piece of paper. Obviously, I got my flip chart out. Piece of paper and a pen, Lindsay's flip chart and Sharpies. And I've done it, and it took me, you have to write down the emotion that you feel and why. You have to do all that. So I was doing it. And at first, you're like, it's quite hard, but then when you start, I must have been writing for about an hour. And at first, it's little sentences, and then it's then like not verbal diarrhea, but it's just out on the paper.
Out then.
I think it was 3 sides or 3 pieces of flip chart paper that I filled in. Some of it was repeated, but I was just like, just get it out, get it out.
Yeah.
And I got it all out, and then you have to go and burn it, which I'm not gonna lie, was the exciting bit.
Yeah.
Well, as I was writing it, I literally finished writing, lied down on the floor, I was lying down anyway writing it, and sobbed.
Yeah.
But as you're crying, and it sounds weird, get a bit emotional now, you can feel it like a release. And I went down and burnt it, and she'd warmed me, so I'd had the bath ready and everything, the hot bath with the candles and my book and everything.
Yeah.
Got in the bath, didn't end up reading my book, put meditation music on, was lying there. Got out that bath, and I'm no word of a lie, I felt about 10 stone later. I don't even weigh 10 stone as it is, but I felt, and that night, I went to bed for about 9:30. Again, went to sleep, slept for 12 hours.
Bloody hell.
And woke up the next day and felt so much, that thing about getting it out.
Yeah.
Why didn't I know this sooner? But yeah, I did for a long time feel guilty. Did feel I could have done more.
I think for a lot of addicts, it's great if they can realise it and get the help. It's hard when they don't have help. And as we were talking, like before we started recording, it was like I was looking for places you can go, like for the, you can Google it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of help out there.
Yeah.
But as you say, if you need to get into a rehab, trying to get in them is one of the hardest things in the world. Like I'd go to 2 places to top up the meds for addicts, and they are at bursting point.
Yeah.
They really are, and that's on the NHS. That's only 2 places off the top of my head that I can think of.
The one that he had a assessment for, which I know he would have got in the week after unfortunately, it was the week he died that he would have had the assessment.
Yeah.
Was the one in Sefton Park?
I don't know.
Transform or something it was called.
Oh.
But even when I contacted you said before about me reaching out to people, I contacted Lee Butler, the DJ.
Yeah.
He does all rehab stuff and that because he's been through it all. He was so helpful, honestly. But he was talking to me. It was through Instagram, and I said to him, "It's for me brother, not for me." And he's like, "We need him to reach out," and that's what they all say. It's got to be them reaching out.
And I think that in itself is hard.
Yeah.
Because they don't all want help.
No. I looked into getting them sectioned.
Did you?
Looked into it because I was his next of kin.
Yeah.
This was a couple of years back, and our dad was like, whatever we need to do.
Mm.
But you can't section an alcoholic. They're not deemed a danger to themselves.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can't do it.
We got Paul sectioned. We were quite lucky because my mum worked in the sector. So the consultant seen that something was wrong with my mum.
Yeah.
After talking to my mum, he said, bring him tonight at 6 o'clock. It was literally that quick. And they took him in through the back door. And it was horrific. But that has shocked me, that they will not take you if you're an alcoholic.
Yeah. I tried everything because I was done. I didn't know what else to do. I was tired. I was exhausted. Oh, Dan, God love me. He was lived away. There's not a lot he can do. And I know you're going to shout at me for this now. I wasn't telling Danny half of what was going on.
No, I know.
So, again,
you should have done.
Protecting him.
Yeah.
Because.
But you're not their mum.
No.
And I say this to you all the time.
I was trying to protect Danny from it. He was getting told what he needed to be told.
Yeah.
When I was getting threatened by his partner and stuff, he was getting told then because he was the one like phone the police, get the police involved. Our boys knew nothing about it till the funeral, did they?
No, they didn't, and I told them. I said to you, as soon as I see them, I'm going to fucking rollick all of them because you've had to deal with so much on your own.
Honestly, they've stepped up and been great since, but
yeah.
And I do need them now. Don't get me wrong, I need them now.
I know, but you did need them.
I needed them then.
Yeah.
Where were they? Spoke to our Wendy at length about it because if nothing else, at least me and Wendy and me and Claire have got really close since it all happened, which is obviously a blessing, and our Steve would be made up with that because he was always close to Wendy and Claire. I weren't. But what made me laugh is all these people were like, I text our Steve, I rang our Steve. I've got his phone. I've been through his phone.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. My Auntie Sandra did. And she was the only one that actually tried to help me, despite the fact that she was dealing, or in spite of the fact that she was dealing with her own addiction at the time.
Yeah.
Her and my Uncle Andrew. And I'm saying their names now because they deserve the recognition that they should get. Because not only were they there for Stephen, Sandra used to reach out to me and go, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Nobody's even bothered to ask us. Even after Stephen passed away, even in the hospital, very, very few of them were like, how are you two doing?
Yeah.
And this is what I was saying before about them forgetting that this is our sibling that we're watching. I was watching my brother die in front of me. And yous are coming in, wanting to talk about things that have happened in the past. No. It sounds so bad. I know it's Stephen that had the issue and the problem and needed all the help. What about us? We'd lost my mum and dad too. And now we were watching our older brother kill himself, basically.
Self-destruct.
Yeah, self-destruct's probably better than killing himself. Just a bit more subtle. But not one person.
That's what he was doing though. He was sabotaging himself. He was self-destructing.
And it did feel at times the most lonely place to be.
I think when you've got to deal with an addict, I think they are very, very selfish. Very selfish. Doesn't matter what you're addicted to, you're selfish.
Yeah.
And you're not thinking of your actions affecting people around you.
No.
And I think when they're being treated or when something happens, people that are there caring for them, you don't think how that's affecting them. Yeah.
The people don't think about the people that are dealing with it.
Yeah.
And for me, that's who I would always now be like, say you said to me, oh, Danny's drinking heavily. I'd be like, are you okay though?
Yeah.
Not like, fuck them, they can pull, you know.
Yeah. It's like, how are you holding up? Are you all right?
Yeah.
Because if the person looking after them's all right and strong, then you can help the other person. But
I did used to sit there and think, why me? Why do I have to deal with this? I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
He used to forget, because obviously we lived in 17 and then moved down the road. He used to go and knock at number 17. Now, luckily, Kate's lovely.
Yeah.
And would bring him up. That's how drunk he used to get at times. How embarrassing would that be if it was someone else?
Yeah. Someone who knew the situation. But what if someone didn't know the situation?
Yeah. There was a lot of embarrassment around it. Now, not so much. I'd say that, as bad as it sounds, that's probably the overriding emotion I get when I think about it now, as the embarrassment of what he was doing when he drank. I don't have the guilt. I don't have the thing attached to it, which was a major thing with me. And I really shouldn't feel embarrassed, I don't think, because not me. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
But yeah, like when we were planning on doing this a few weeks back, I was like, I'm going to end up saying I was guilty and Emma's going to tell me off and stuff. But I honestly, I was like, I don't feel it no more.
Yeah, but that's good.
And I do feel like that's a massive weight lifted.
I think that's one thing, if anyone is looking after someone with an addiction, remember it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Like...
You can only do
so much.
So much. The one thing I learned about all this with Steve is you can't help someone that does not want help.
Yeah.
You cannot force them to take the help. I tried, the tough love. I tried the softly approach. I took his dog off him. I tried every approach going that I could think of. None of it worked because he did not want the help.
No.
And I think I accepted that about 6 months before he passed away.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit longer. And when I did that, that actually helped our relationship.
Yeah.
In that I'd be like, I can't help you, Steve, because you don't want it. But I'm here. And I love you. So if you need me, I'm here.
Yeah.
But it was a massive thing for me to go, I can't do it for you. I can't help you. You don't want the help. And accepting that is hard.
Yeah.
But he's already accepted that he didn't want help.
Yeah.
I just had to play catch up. And I'd say to people now, he didn't want help. Oh no, he did. He didn't.
No, he didn't.
And if, God forbid, it turns out worst case scenario like mine has, you cannot blame yourself for whatever feelings you have when it happens.
Yeah.
I felt so guilty for the relief I felt.
I don't think you should feel guilty. I said that to you at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. And I do remember the night before he passed away, the Tuesday night. I'm sat there and I had Danny asleep in one chair because he'd come home from Edinburgh. I hadn't slept at all. Stephen's obviously oxygen mask and everything in the bed, and there was just the three of us in the room. I remember looking at Steve and thinking, just go. Yeah. It was inevitable. It was going to happen. We'd been told this. And then I remember sitting there thinking, I feel so bad for saying that. But I'm looking at our Dan and he's tired and he's suffering. And I'm thinking, and I wasn't picking one brother over another. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But when you're like, just let go now, mate.
Yeah.
And then sit and cry my eyes out because I'm like, am I actually saying these words?
It's like you're looking there watching him suffer.
He's suffering. And it wasn't even suffering. But I wasn't thinking about me at the time, as you know, and I know you said it, like, I'm not the mum, but I was like, worst thing that can happen now is you carry on fighting for days. I'd been in that hospital 48 hours without sleep. I was at breaking point.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had good people around us. But that's why I was ringing you and stuff, just to get out the headspace of being in the hospital at times. But yeah, the feeling of relief did make me feel guilty, and I didn't tell anyone for a couple of weeks. I think I told you, but that was it for a couple of weeks, how I felt about it. And it was only when I was like, actually, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And now, I was saying to Dan on the phone the other day about moving away and stuff. And everyone's like, you're going to move to Edinburgh with your Dan? I'm not going to Edinburgh. No. I've got no ties now, so I am. Sounds so bad again. Stephen passing away has freed me.
Yeah.
Dobby is free.
You've always said that. Dobby is free.
I have no idea what I'm saying that, because I just know that saying.
Dobby is a free elf. But yeah, I always thought because I always thought Steve was going to self-destruct.
We knew it was coming for a long time.
You could see it for a long time. It was happening. It was just the count of when. But I get you. Yeah, it's freed you.
Yeah. Because before Steve, I was like, oh, my dad needs me, which he did for a little while when my mum passed, and then it was like, well, now Stephen needs me. And I've always wanted, for a while, wanted to move away, and
you used to always say, but he would be there for Steve when he needs somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and I used to say, but he's not your concern, he's not your charge, but you felt that way.
Yeah. More because I felt like I was letting my mum and dad down if I didn't.
Yeah.
My mum, more than anything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like we were saying, whatever you feel when that person actually does pass away or whatever, it's not bad. It's not wrong.
No.
you'll be so mixed up with the feelings that you feel. Honestly, whatever you feel is like you're allowed to feel, and it's normal. And if you do want to talk to someone, again, we're both here. Just reach out. We've both been through it, obviously, at different points in life as well. So, in different circumstances, because you had your mum and dad there with you, didn't you? I had to deal with it pretty much on my own.
But I was only young.
Yeah.
As well, I think now, if it happened now, I'd probably be a bit more prepared.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to say I would be because I looked into it a lot. I've looked into it a lot growing up.
I think as well, when you're younger, there is that why aren't I getting the attention to? But I still felt that at an older age. Like, but yeah, addiction or the sibling of someone with addiction isn't easy.
No.
Yeah, it's not your fault. All you've got to remember, you can only do the best you can.
Support is there. There's a load of things online that I found before on Google. On the addiction side of stuff, whether it's help dealing with it yourself or supporting people.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does all of that, which is really, really good.
I tried to be a superhero as usual. Realised that my family weren't going to help me and tried to do it all by myself.
Yeah.
I do wish I would have reached out. But at the end of the day, Stephen was an amazing human being and such a sweet lad who obviously had mental health issues that led him to the drink. And I do think it was mental health issues that led him to drinking. But now wherever he is, hopefully he's back with my mum and dad, and that's all I ever wanted, to be back with my mum. And he's obviously not in pain. On that note, let's do, whether we can find one now, what are you grateful for this week?
I'm grateful for my mum this week. Oh my God, I don't know where to begin without that. And Danny, to be fair, because he's been up at 4:30 in the morning, working all day, coming home, doing the school pickups, and then cooking the tea, washing the dishes, cleaning all the kitchen down, having everything spotless, setting it up for the next day. And he's done that for this whole week. Yeah. For us.
You know what? As much as I say about Danny and that, he is a sweetheart. He is.
Yeah, he's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we do like Danny.
Yeah.
Especially because he's literally let me take over his living room today while he's upstairs.
So that's what I am grateful for.
What am I grateful for this week? You think I'd have this prepared because I know we're going to come up with it every week.
Yeah.
I am grateful for, you know what, I'm going to say the opportunity that I've took to work with that mentor I was saying about before.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. That's the universe sending you a sign.
Yeah, especially the way everything fell into place where it was like I was supposed to be somewhere else, would have missed the webinar. Didn't go there because God love her Claire, she got COVID. So she's getting it voided for like 6 weeks. Watched the webinar, then was looking to sign up. Couldn't sign up on that date for whatever reason. Said to myself, if it's still available on the Friday, I'd sign up. Saying this to you before. And the first thing I've done was wake up to an email today saying there's still places on the course.
Yeah.
So I signed up and I am excited to see where this takes us with the Empower business. It's all exciting. I know. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. For the universe then, for giving me the opportunity to not only be on the webinar, but also take the chance to sign up for the course. And for me, I'm going to have two things. I'm going to say I'm grateful to me for being brave enough to back myself enough to spend the money and invest in myself for the course.
Yeah. I think that's amazing. That shows your confidence has come up.
Yeah. Because I know I can do this.
Yeah, I know you can. I know you can do it. You've got to know.
And this couch is coming to my farmhouse with me, by the way. I'll buy you a new one. It's so comfy.
It's even better when you put the recliner.
Why am I only getting told at the end of the podcast that it's a recliner?
I thought you'd know.
Nope.
I thought you knew.
Nope. No. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye till next year. Wow.
I know, we haven't got a thing to
I'm thinking, kind of leads on. We could talk about, if you wanted to, like therapy.
Ooh. Yeah, therapy and therapies. If anyone knows of any.
Yeah, I mean, Emma pretty much touched them all, but you know, done them all, had them all. Yeah. No, I was thinking therapy because it kind of leads on then. We've done the mental health, we've done the addiction, and it's the therapy of dealing with everything else.
Yeah, therapy, different therapies, therapy self-work, therapies that haven't.
Yeah, we'll do about so we'll do about therapies next week. Not just talking therapies, but we'll do about the Chinese therapies. We'll
look at the.
What I'll do as well, I'll prepare a few little activities that people can do at home and try them. For me, life coaching and that. Because although it's coaching, I do touch on CBT and hypno and stuff, so we can throw through like visualizations and that in for people.
Awesome. We'll do that. Any questions? Any...
I went to go, no, I've got none.
Let us know. Drop it on the Insta page.
Yeah, which is Forever the Optimist _pod.
I need to write that.
Yeah. Or on mine, which is Lindsey _McKenna 84. It's a bit easier to remember. And on that note, we shall say goodbye.
Yeah. Have a lovely week, everybody.
Bye. Oh.